I'm Rachel Clark.
I'm Jordan Bettram.
My name's Jordan McDonald.
And I'm Anders Kuhn. Our topic is the Apollo space program. The Apollo space mission started in 1961 and ended in 1972. It consisted of 6 lunar landing missions, 11 crewed missions, and consisted of Apollo 1 to Apollo 17. In total, 12 men stepped on the lunar surface.
The mission started due to the Cold War conflict in the USSR's launch of Sputnik, inciting the space race. The Apollo program was conceived during the Eisenhower administration following Project Mercury. Project Mercury was the first human spaceflight program and a major inspiration for the Apollo program. The Mercury capsule was meant to carry 1 astronaut, while the Apollo program set a goal to carry 3, making it a major advancement from the Project Mercury. The objective was set by President John F. Kennedy on May 25, 1961, to perform a lunar landing with a human crew and return to Earth safely.
So the goals for the Apollo mission was establishing technology capable of meeting other national interests in space for technological and economic development, achieving prominence and having a presence in space, carrying out a program of scientific exploration of the moon, such as mining for precious minerals and natural resources. It also was to develop human capability to work in the environment and to dive deeper into space exploration. And lastly, to outperform the competitor, the US, which at this time was the Soviet Union, who had just launched Sputnik. Because of the Cold War and the fear of communism spreading, the US took more severe measures to ensure the US did not fall behind the Soviet Union in technological advancement and evolution.
The most notable mission of the Apollo space program was Apollo 11, in which astronauts landed on the moon. This major achievement was nationally televised through TV stations such as NBC, CBS, and ABC. The task was to perform a lunar landing on the moon and collect samples of the moon's surface. The astronauts that were in this mission was Neil Armstrong, which was the first man to step on the moon, and Edwin E. Buzz Aldrin Jr., the second human to set foot on the moon. At this time, Neil Armstrong stated that's one small step for man and 1 giant leap for mankind. After this was said, the astronauts plunged a U.S. flag on the surface of the moon, which could still be seen today.
The second most notable space mission was the Apollo 12. This was launched on November 14, 1969, and the crew consisted of Michael Collins, Charles Conrad Jr., and Alan L. Bean. Bean and Conrad performed 2 moonwalks that totaled 7 hours and 27 minutes, and the majority of the first moonwalk was spent deploying experiments like seismometers that continued to radio back data to Earth until September of 1977. Bean and Conrad also collected 75 pounds of lunar rock samples called basalt during these 2 moonwalks, and the basalt rock samples were significant because they were not only different in composition than the Apollo 11 mission, because they contained less titanium, but they were roughly 3 billion years younger than the roughly 4 billion-year-old Apollo 11 samples that had previously been collected. This concludes our presentation on the Apollo space mission.